Some gratitude and appreciation is in order. I want to give a special shout out to a few subscribers of mine. Kenshin514, Victiman, Infamy or Death, and Applejack4933. I want to thank you guys so incredibly much. All of you guys gave me a special donation for doing the Kenshin reviews because you know that these videos don't do well on the channel, and I didn't ask for it. You guys just did it out of the kindness of your heart, so thank you very, very much. It means the world to me, man. More than you know. Just the idea that anybody anywhere gives a shit to even click on or watch one of my videos, but then to go even further than to send your support. So I really, really do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And I am here with a review of Rurouni Kenshin Season 2, Episode 3. And I do have to tell you something a little bit about my history of Rurouni Kenshin. So when I was a wee lad, yes, I did start with the very first episode of Kenshin. Oddly enough, the library in my local town had VHS tapes you could rent. That's how fucking old I am. And I got the first tape of Rurouni Kenshin, fell in love with the series, you know, watched it on Toonami. But another time, a little bit later, I think Toonami just had Season 1, you know, just the first arc before the Kyoto arc. And I saw a tape that had Kenshin on it. It had Shishio on it, wrapped in the bandages. And I'd always seen Shishio, but I'd never seen an episode with Shishio. So I bought this tape and brought it home and watched it. And it was actually this segment of the Kyoto arc. It was the Shingetsu Village segment, and I will always have a very special place in my heart for this little specific moment of the story of Kenshin and Misao just kind of traveling, you know, through the forest and then getting to Shingetsu Village and everything that's going to happen there. It is very, very nostalgic to me. The whole series is nostalgic, but specifically just because I didn't know what was going on. You know, I kind of jumped into the Kyoto arc a little bit late, and watching this now, watching this season 2, episode 3 episode, it really just kind of hit the right spot for me. And it reminded me so much of just the joy and love I have for the series in both the way that it handles its characters when it comes to the more comedic stuff, and then also when it gets darkly serious and real like it does at the end of this episode. This episode is kind of like two halves of what Kenshin is. Like the first half of the episode is kind of fun, whimsical, you know, it's Misao trying to chase Kenshin around and, you know, a lot of silly antics ensue. And then the second half of the episode shows you kind of the brutal realism of what Kenshin is dealing with here and what he's going to be up against. Just a small sample of what Shishio is capable of going into Shingetsu Village. So I really liked the way that they did that. I thought everything just flowed very well. I mean, there were a few moments here and there where the animation was a little bit stunted, but it didn't bother me. Mostly, I think that it is continuing to improve as the series goes along. I mentioned this in the past 2 episodes. I think that Season 2 of Kenshin now, the Kyoto arc, and this is like the crux of it, like Kyoto arc is peak, you know, so this better be good. And I think they're doing a very good job at bringing it all together. I think that it's much better than Season 1 so far. And, you know, I am just excited to re-experience this saga of Kenshin. Now, a few things going on about the episode itself. I'll talk about the small stuff first. We do get to see little glimpses of all the characters traveling to Kyoto. I love that Sanosuke is just literally like punching down trees on his way there. And he's like, this sucks. Like, this isn't training. I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, he was a child in the Sekio army, you know, but that disbanded when he was really, really young. And he'd pretty much just been growing up on the streets. So I like the idea that he never really had any kind of proper training after that. He's literally just been in street fights, which in its own way is proper training because you're fighting for real, you know, but he doesn't have like technique or skill. Like he's just kind of punching shit, and he's a tank, so he can take a lot of abuse and keep going. So it's frustrating him, you know, as he goes. I like that we see Kaoru and Yahiko on the ship. You know, they're going to Kyoto by boat. All the characters have their different methods of going there. And then with Kenshin and Misao, we get to this moment in the series where we realize that Misao is part of the Oniwaban, and she's been looking for Aoshi, and everybody has no idea that they were all gunned down by a ruthless billionaire maniac. And Kenshin knows this, but is it Kenshin's place to tell her what happened, especially when Kenshin is dealing with what he's dealing with, knowing that he has to walk all the way to Kyoto, that there could be an assassin at any moment. He's got big things on his plate, and he doesn't want to destroy this girl's world, you know? And it's not so much that he's keeping it a secret from her for any kind of you know, other reason than that. Like, I feel like mostly it's just, I don't know if it's my place to tell her this, you know, and to just destroy her right now. Also, we don't know, he doesn't know where Aoshi is. Neither of them know that Aoshi is now heading to Kyoto as well. So it's just a mess of a situation. So his immediate thought is, I'm going to lose her. So I love when he just decides that. He just stands and he's like, I guess my best option is just to lose her. And he just bolts into the forest. Like, it's like the funniest shit to me. And you get to this moment where he jumps over this chasm, and, you know, Misao decides that she's going to try to do that too. She is so determined to follow Kenshin, to find out anything that she can about Aoshi. And this is, if you go back to the 90s series, this is where one of the episodes ends. So another thing I want to say about this season 2 is I think it's being paced very well. I do believe we will get to the end of the Kyoto arc by the time it ends, because it's like, it's got like 23 episodes or something it's going to give us. This is only episode 3. I think we're going to get all the way through the arc. So I don't think it's going to be like split or continued or anything like that at this point. But in the 90s episode, that's where it ended. It ended with after she tries to jump the gorge and Kenshin rescues her. And then the next episode picks up at the beginning of them walking and finding the corpse of the soldier holding his brother. And then that episode goes a little bit further than when this one left off. So now we're going to be kind of like out of sync, out of pace with the 90s version. So every episode now, you know, unless they speed it up, is going to be not like a one-for-one remake of the original. But I don't think there were any significant changes other than one. So yeah, so Kenshin goes and, you know, sees the corpse of this guy, and he's got his brother in his arms, Eichi. And basically what had happened here is that this little small village in the middle of the forest has been completely taken over by Shishio. And Shishio is planning this whole, like, terrorist takeover of Japan. Like, he believes that the rulers of Japan are inadequate, they're weak, they don't deserve to be to govern all of us, and it needs to be somebody strong, right? And so, like, he's building up this army, he's building up these you know, rebels, I guess you could say, or his terrorist organization, whatever you want to call it. And they have been, like, periodically kind of taking over villages, and Shingetsu is one of them. And the government itself is a little bit too afraid to deal with this shit. Like, they want to stop Shishio, and they're, you know, they're sending, you know, they recruited Kenshin, and they're doing some other things, but, like, it's not worth it to them to go into this village and try to do anything. And so they literally just erased it off the map. They don't care about these people whatsoever. And Kenshin goes into the village, and it's literally like a ghost town. And I really like how it was done in this version of the anime, where he's walking around the village. It actually works well for spooky season, Halloween, because it really feels like a ghost village. And he sees the two parents of Eichi that were hung. And now things get serious. As fun and lighthearted as the first half of the episode was, this is where it starts to take a little bit of a turn for the worst, and you see what Shishio and his men are truly capable of. The one main difference here is when the soldiers show up and Kenshin defeats them. In the 90s anime, you actually do see Kenshin fight all of them and take them down. This one, it was kind of cut away, but I can understand why they did it for time to end the episode when they did. But I do love this moment with Kenshin, because he's always the kind of guy that's like, listen, I don't want to fight. If you just put your weapons down, we can go our separate ways. I'll let you go, yada, yada. But seeing this child's two parents hung in the middle of the street just sets him off. And I love when he turns around to all the soldiers and he's like, you know, normally I would let you guys go, but in this instance, I'm going to beat the shit out of every single one of you. Doesn't quite say it that vulgar, but that's the intent here. And he does. And he absolutely does. Still, you know, vow not to kill, but not a vow to not beat the shit out of people if they deserve it. And these people absolutely deserve it. And the episode ends introducing my goat. Saito shows up. One of these soldiers goes over to Misao, is gonna kill her with the spear, and then all of a sudden a sword just shoots through this guy's mouth, and you're just like, what the fuck? You know it's not Kenshin, because Kenshin doesn't kill. And then I noticed they added in a little, you know, metal guitar riff for my goat Saito, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Saito is there. Why is he there? I won't spoil that for you, but he's there. And he took this guy out because Saito doesn't give a shit about killing. He's just, his philosophy is kill evil immediately, get rid of him. He's chaotic good if you're going by D&D standards. And yeah, he just takes him out. So now we have this assembly of Kenshin, Saito, Misao, and Eiichi. They're in this village that's taken over by Shishio, and this is going to be like a little segment, a little like mini arc within the overall arc, and it's really good. It's very, very good. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Excited to see what they do with it. I think that season 2 has been great so far. So let me know all of your thoughts and opinions about this episode down below. If you're brand new to Kenshin and you're experiencing it for the first time, go ahead and leave some theories about what you think is going to happen here. This is definitely, you know, nostalgia-wise, a very, very you know, personal favorite part of the entire series for me. So let me know what you guys think down below. And like I said, shout out to all you guys that sent in the super thanks last time. It really does help me out. Definitely makes these videos even more worth it. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And next week, I might be late. I'm going to be out of town next weekend. So if you don't get a Kenshin review next week, I'll wait until the week after, and I'll review 2 episodes in one video, because I might not have a chance to get the next episode review out in time. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later.